Sometimes this feels like one thing after the other. Then all of a sudden you're redesigning and rewiring your maintenance room. This is Simple Living with Biata. For the last 2 years, I've been building my dream home and homestead from scratch with very little experience, learning so many new trades along the way. Last week, I left you off with Ryan from SMHC getting my wood boiler hooked up and heat into the slab. Okay, it's now a Monday morning. I was gonna try to get to insulating and vapor burying this weekend, but my poly tube from the well is on the ground with insulation over it and the tarp over it, and it kept my water line from freezing. So that was amazing, and it saved me from having to work this weekend. And there was a roof leak in the trailer this weekend that I had to fix anyways, so I'm just gonna take everything out and get back to work in this room. I started by insulating my maintenance room, but did not have time to finish, so I'm gonna finish this off today. I want this whole room warm so that I can store my batteries and my water line in here with nothing freezing or getting damaged. First, I'm gonna start with putting rafter vents up here. That way it's done and over with. All of this is kind of gonna be a temporary solution. Like the strapping is gonna remain and the vapor barrier is gonna remain, but I'm also gonna be putting up bats of insulation, and eventually that'll just be blow-in, but I need something here to keep this room insulated. I can't believe I broke my first one. They're $5 each. I'm gonna have to tape it or something. I don't think I'm doing this right. These kind of suck. How do you do this? People's trusses not normally this tall? I don't get it. If I bend the bottom piece, then this doesn't fit in the right spot. See, this is what I don't get. The bendy part is down here, but where it needs to be bent is up here. But you're supposed to fold this part down or else insulation will get under. So maybe I should just install it a different way because this seems like really janky. I feel like this works so much better than this guy that's folded, and see the difference? That's quite the difference. I wonder if I can just get away with that and then like maybe tape the bottom or something. Let me know what you think. I'd just like to say we are officially up to temperature in here. It is a bit of a warmer day, but it's 41 degrees in here. I set it to the minimum, which is 40, just because it's not insulated and I don't want my wood boiler running all the time and all my pumps to be running all the time because I think that'll get a little bit expensive with our electricity bill. Anyways, I'm gonna keep moving on. Time to do the strapping of the ceiling for the maintenance room. If you guys don't already know, I have this whole Bluetti backup system for my home for when the power goes out. And over the last year, I've tried out a few different models from Bluetti, and this is a new one they've sent me. And by the way, I don't just have all of these random battery banks sitting around. I have given the Bluetti battery banks that I've used to a couple of family members who have really been integral in this journey, one being Craig. And as I work today, I'm gonna use this and see what it can do. So I'm excited to have a smaller unit to be able to use because I no longer have any smaller units. I just have my big ones. And so I think this is gonna be our main like travel pack that we'll be able to use, you know, for camping and such. And by the way, these are my AC300s. They run my entire backup system. They run 240 volts, which is pretty cool. So my new unit is the AC200L. So it has a 2,400 watt output, which is a little bit bigger than the AC200 that I had last year that I gave to Craig. And it has 2,048 watt hours. I think my miter saw can run off a 2,400 watt surge. So I'm excited to see if this works because I need it for the strapping. Okay, this is pretty sweet. I didn't expect it to have a 30 amp plug for an RV. So that's kind of cool. It also has 4 20 amp plugs, which is great for tools, and then 4 different USB ports and some DC outputs. First, the grounding pin. All right, the moment of truth. This guy's a very high draw, so I don't know if it's gonna work. Awesome, that works great. It pulled, let's see. It starts out pulling like 2,400 and then it drops down to 14.
I was a bit shocked and confused when I saw that my miter saw pulled slightly above 2,400, but I got to reading and realized not only does this have a 2,400 watt output, but it also has an insane 3,600 watt capacity in power lifting mode.
And 7 cuts went from 34% to 33%. Not that bad.
This unit has no issues running an air compressor pulling around 1,000 watts. And in an emergency backup situation, it can run a 20 cubic foot modern fridge for a day and a half, a hot plate for 3.75 hours, and a box fan for 35 hours. I'll explain why I'm using the Sawzall soon, but it pulls about 800 to 900 watts, which is absolutely no issues. You could be using multiple tools at once on this thing. You can quickly recharge this unit to 80% in 45 minutes or get a full charge in 2 hours. You can also increase the watt hours by adding 1 to 2 B300s to the mix. This brings your watt hours up to 8,192. Click the link in my description to get the AC200L for 1,899 Canadian until February 18th and use my code below to get an extra $50 off. Let's go back in time for a second. Before I finished strapping the ceiling, I noticed something wasn't quite right.
I'm realizing I need an attic in this room and I'm not gonna be able to get up in the attic on this side. My access point is gonna have to be over here. With the space that I have in here, I'm thinking this spot right here is the best spot because the venting is right there. So if I were to ever want to, like, you know, travel across, this would be the best way to travel across. So I just need to, I think, cut right here and here. Sometimes this feels like one thing after the other. Like you get to a part, you're finally getting into a groove, and then all of a sudden, the light that you were going to choose for this room isn't going to work because it was going to be like a big round and flat modern looking light here, but that light will 100% get in the way for attic access anywhere in this room. I figured this out and how I'm going to make this whole thing work. I'm going to remove this light, put in 4 pot lights in this room. So now I'm gonna take the octagon down, I'm going to rewire, and then I'm gonna get back to strapping. And these are the little things that take self-builds forever. If you don't have the experience to look ahead and think, oh my gosh, I need the attic to go here, then all of a sudden you're redesigning and rewiring your maintenance room. I have to do one more thing before I put up the vapor barrier, and that is to cut the space for the attic. So I'm gonna throw the bats up and I'm gonna take them out for my electrical inspection. I just want this room to stay warm. Okay. This room is almost completely done. Look at how rosy my cheeks are. It was so warm up there. I have the interior walls taped to the vapor barrier that was going in between the 2 top plates of the interior walls. Now for the exterior walls, what I'm gonna have to do is get Acousti-Seal in between the 2 top plates, and then I'll be able to tape the top seam to the vapor barrier that's going on the walls. Well, this room is almost fully insulated and closed in, but right now there's a gaping hole. So it's time to make a door. And I'm gonna make a door out of the crappy 2x6 by like 16 footers. They're really warped, but I just need a temporary door. And bam. Ooh, wow. It's like just too short. 31. You can't get your tape out with gloves on. Doesn't matter really. 16 inches on center. Much rather be nailing this, but then it's gonna take forever to come apart. My girl. That is heavy. Done. Let's see if it closes. Gonna lift it off. Oh. What are we caught on? I did something. What the heck? Oh. Anyways, we'll try again. This ain't it. All right, I've fussed around with it. I present to you sketchy but free door. Just gotta insulate it now. I just want to say thank you so much for all the comments on last week's video about insulation and what type to go with. I think you guys are right. Most of you said go with rock wool, just because like it's really hard to compress. Like look at that. And the fact that like it's waterproof and it won't shrink if there's water damage. So I think it's the best investment. I am not going with spray foam. I have actually even talked to a person who does spray foam who said that the price increase since COVID has been insane, that it might not even be worth it. Anyways, thank you for all the comments, because I'm gonna go with rock wool for all the exterior walls. I do have 4-inch pink stuff. I guess it's 3.5 inch. I'm gonna have it on my interior walls just for this room, but I might use some more in between like my bathroom and bedroom, and same with the bathroom and the bedrooms on the other side. Oh, these are wrong. Gotta take those out and put clamps on it that actually work without damaging the wire. There we go. Officially, we have an insulated and heated room. This is gonna make sure that my water line doesn't freeze, and it's gonna keep my batteries warm enough to not get damaged. It honestly kind of feels like nothing has really gotten done the last few months on my behalf, and I'm really sorry that this week's video is so much shorter. I'm really just trying to regroup, recuperate, and get better, but I'm almost through the winter and I cannot wait for what this next season holds and getting this house actually ready to go to be able to live in. So thank you for watching, and just a reminder, check out Bluetti and their AC 200L linked in my description below. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next week. I'm gonna make a good customer for my chiropractor, that's for sure. No.